but um, uh, we talk about Diane, your attorney. So,
Menashe.
tell us, yeah, tell us about how
Um,
did you get hold of her and stuff like that.
it was like God came down. I believe in God now too, because I don't know. I don't know how I could afford anybody like her, but she just came, like, appeared one day, and my
Yeah,
lawyer Court Gatterdam, who's a great attorney too, but he's like, man, you're gonna want this lady. She's the best. And I'm like, well, and okay, I guess, whatever, sure. She wants to help me, and she came in. She doesn't have a really good bedside manner. I don't know if you understand what that means, but she's a bit focused.
yeah, no, I
You know what
do.
I mean? But
Yeah, yeah,
she's I've never seen anything like it. I was sitting in trial, and what they do is they give you their evidence and discovery, right? The prosecution gave us, and it was 30,000 pages of it. What part of the 30,000 pages are they going to use? I don't think she really knew. So she's gonna kind of
yeah.
like, okay, this is well. I think there's a little bit of cooperation when they decide what gets allowed to come in as evidence, but we don't really know why. Why are they allowing this on evidence? And they were allowing all these things that didn't mean anything. Literally, it was fodder, it was filler. There wasn't. So she had to figure out. And I saw her a couple of times. She would be like, they would be up there and they would testify and they would make a point, and she would figure. I can't explain. Because I knew what was going on at certain points, because I just knew what was up. It was one thing about the if you don't know, there was a accusation made that I was staging the scene, and part of the evidence of that was that I had moved a cooler in the garage, and I took. They said I took down a cord, an extension cord, and I brought attention to it. I told the police about it. After they asked me, they said, if you see anything out of place, we need you to let us. And like an hour later, I brought attention to the cord to them, and they said I was doing that because I was manipulating the scene to make it appear that Emily was looking for something to hang herself with. Um, and I don't know if you can understand that. They said I took a cord down, a cord, and put it somewhere. And I was like, hey, listen, this cord doesn't belong here. And I was doing that because I was trying to manipulate the narrative. I was trying to get them to go towards suicide, because I was accused of setting up a suicide, right? It's kind of a weird, I don't know if that was explained very well, because it's kind of a
It
difficult
was.
thing to get your head. I saw Diane Menashe figure it out on the fly in court. I couldn't believe it. She figured it out. She figured out not only that, like these other angles to it too. Like, she's like, so you moved the cord. So what? Did they ask you if you could, did they tell you not to move anything? You were in your own house. She literally did that a few times where I didn't even know what they were talking about. I thought, why are they talking about this cord? I don't understand it. She knew it. She figured it out right there on the fly. I don't know if that's how they train lawyers, or if she's just like a special lawyer, but she literally figured things out right there on the fly that I couldn't believe. I was just like, I can't believe she knew my case so well. Like, that's what you want. You want a lawyer that, like, really knows your case, right? All the ins and outs. She knew all of it. She memorized the entire thing. Every my of course, I have my family and my friends all watched my trial, like, intently. They know all the details of the trial, and you guys will too if you watch it, because it's really, really interesting what they did. How I watch this woman and what she does, and how she just, everything that they brought up, she addressed. Because literally they didn't even address what they would bring up there. She did. She was so good that she didn't call any witnesses up for me. She just used their witnesses, their people, to testify for me. That's how good she was. She was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if I'm explaining that right or not, but she
No,
literally
it means yeah.
such a good attorney that she would use their witnesses to testify for me.
That's what you want.
I don't know
That
if
that
there's
makes
other
total
lawyers like
sense.
her around or not. I don't know if she's the only one I've
No,
ever met, but
no. And Chat saying the same thing.
She
She's the
literally
best I've
went
ever
into
seen.
30,000 pages of it. When you, yeah, I'm sure some of your people have watched, and you guys are trial junkies, so I'm sure you know about this type of thing. I'm sure there's those shitty lawyers that don't know anything about your case, and they just show up and they fuck you, right? Well, she was just the
Yeah.
opposite. She literally learned everything that she needed to know. So, and and it wasn't even really fair. Now that I look at it, I go back and I research for my book and I watch it, and I'm just like, this wasn't even fair. Go back and watch her cross Grubbs. Stephen Grubbs is the lead detective. Um, let me show. I'll give you another one. This is really neat. You'll see. You'll recognize it when it hits. Grubbs is up there testifying, and he testified that Emily and I had a troubled marriage, and the reason he came to that conclusion, one of the reasons, was that we used to use the word love when we would text each other all the time. It was like our pet thing. I love you. Can't wait to see my love. Blah blah blah. We use it all the time, like for the entire from when she got her new phone, which was in October of 19, up until she in May of 20. I think that's right. Yeah, 20. I think. Yeah, 20. And so we're using the word love between our personal messages up until 2 months prior to her going missing, and all of a sudden we stop using the word love. He even counted the amount of times we use love between us, and then they would be like, "All right, how many times did they use the word love between the messages between them between November and April?" And well, 220 times. And how many times did they use the word love between April and when she went missing in May? You know what I mean? And he said zero. You know what I mean? And because of COVID, started working from home in April. There wasn't any text messages between us. The text messages, phone's going dead.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?